Everybody, my name is Aceface. We're here in nullsec. I wanted to show you guys the Torpedo Rattlesnake that I've been using previously, but with a Higgs anchor. The Torpedo Rattlesnake is a rattlesnake that is focused on doing as much DPS as possible in particularly the Gristis Havens, I would say, because it's a very optimal site for a Torpedo Rattlesnake, because torpedoes do a ton of damage and torpedoes have a very short range. And in the Gristis Haven, all the NPCs are very closely cluttered together, so it's very favourable to be able to do torpedo style there, I would say, in my opinion. We, however, are going to do that with the Rattlesnake with a Higgs anchor. And the great thing about a Higgs anchor is that you're sort of able to remain aligned at all times and not have to worry about being at the wrong range, or you can sort of remain aligned at all times and feel a little bit safer, because in the event which someone is to warp in and try to attack you, try to get you, try to wreck your dreams and ruin your day, well, you've got a pretty good chance of getting out of there because you're already aligned. So all it takes is just a right click and a left click, and then you can get out of that situation very quickly without having to wait at all for any align time. The Higgs anchor enables us to do this a lot easier because it reduces our max velocity. So this is going to make it so that we are relatively still, but still aligning at the same time. The issue with not using is this, because if we don't use the Higgs anchor, we're going to eventually drift away very far. And this can be problematic when you've got the torpedoes, because the torpedoes have really short range. So we'll undock right here with our Rattlesnake, and we'll go to one of these havens. Let's see if we can find one here. I'm trying to see if it's a rock haven, just by trying to... Yeah, we see that it's a rock haven by trying to warp and then stopping, and then we get a notification saying ship computer. And I'm going to try warping in at 10 kilometers, because I think that could perhaps be useful, since I think we'll come out of the range of these rocks, because I have tried doing this fit before with torpedoes and Higgs anchor, and the issue I had was that I was having problems due to the fact that we had the rocks come in the way. So the rocks were bumping me and making it so that I couldn't align. Okay, so we've already got an Ishtar here farming away, so we'll go to another one. So yeah, warp to this one, 16 AU away. This one did not give the ship computer notification. What about this one? Does not seem to either be the case. Okay, does not seem like there are any havens that we would want to have here, so we would have to make do with the Forsaken hubs. Forsaken hubs are alternatives to havens. They're not as good because they don't have as much like meat, but I would still say that they're pretty good, and in some ways they're better than havens for sub-capital ships, because you don't have the dreadnoughts potentially being able to spawn in the end. Oh, there's an Ishtar here as well. Seems like the system is in full krab mode. Let's strike out this Gristis Forsaken hub. Oh, we just stole a bit 500,000-isk tick from this guy here, because we're in a standing fleet right now. It's important to be in a standing fleet when you're nullsec, because it can help you survive. People can warp to you, and when in a fleet, bounties are divided between each other. So I just warped in on the grid, and it makes it that bounties are divided when you're on grid with someone. So I just got 500,000 for doing nothing. Oh, we've got another Ishtar here as well. Seems like it's pretty hard for us to get any action here. I want to just go to one of these like gas havens. These gas havens are a little bit tougher than regular havens, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to take them on. But if we're not able to take them on, then at least we can see that we're able to stay aligned out all the time, so they can give us a good idea that we're like able to escape when danger occurs. I could get my Rattlesnake to be a bit more tankier than it is right now. I've only got one resistance module. This is a Pith X-type Kinetic shield hardener. I could have two, and I would be a lot stronger against the Gristis. It's quite easy to tank against Gristis just because they do a very specific type of damage, which is kinetic damage. So if you just tank hard for kinetic damage, it's very easy to get very high amounts of tank, actually. Not too hard at all. Just get really good resists, and then just like a few HP will turn into like effectively like many hundreds HP. Okay, look at that. So we can see here. Oh, someone's forgot their MTU as well. Wonder whose MTU is that. But we're going to see here. I'm going to save this bookmark, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp to something that's very close. Let's just go to this desolate asteroid maybe, and then I'll go to this chemical factory that I've just made a bookmark, because I've just warped in now, and I can see that the NPCs are quite far away from me, and I preferably want to be in the middle of all the action with the torpedo rattlesnake because of the lack of range of our torpedoes. But this is more a test, you could say, not really Iskba, because if it was perfect Iskba, then it would be better to do the rock havens. But since we're doing a gas haven now, I want to more just see how well this works. Our ship is not the cheapest one, 2.3 billion. The big price here is the Gistex type shield booster, and also the Caldari Navy and Imperial Navy damage modules we've got. Let's go to that chemical factory again that I bookmarked, because it was right next to the rats. Warp here, and let's go. I saw actually a video of iBeast, the Russian Eve streamer, quite a while ago. He was using Torpedo Rattlesnake up against a carrier, I think it was, and he almost killed it. But he didn't manage to, but it was showing how powerful that ship was. He had like really big amounts of shield and so much DPS. And we also hit with a lot of DPS actually with these torpedoes. It's no joke. Okay, so now we're warping back to the chemical factory, so hopefully this will be very smooth here. So this is perfect because all the NPCs now are like 9, something like that, kilometers away from us, so we can operate a lot easier here. Activate all our modules, deploy the drones, thank you very much, and then I'll have the missiles go for the battleships, or I'll have the drones go for everything else, like smaller stuff, like these missile defense batteries we see here. And I'm going to align to one of these warp out points I've got, so I'm aligned to warp 1. I've got a few bookmarks scattered around the system to alleviate us sort of being able to go in different directions. They're not perfectly opposite to each other. That would be ideal if I had one on the other side of the system and one before, then I can just go back and forward with not having to think too much about getting out of the like site or into a rock or something like that. But the problem here is that it's hard to get two bookmarks that are completely opposite to each other, or at least as far as based on my limited experience, I can't really get my bookmarks to be aligned that well. So I've just got a few bookmarks that are somewhat in different directions in the systems that allow me to align to different places. So I'm aligning this way now with warp 1, but then if I do warp 2, then I'll go to a slightly different area as well. As you can see, I'm warping to a different one there, but we'll remain aligning to warp 1 in the meantime. We'll stay on that, and then if we have problems, we'll then change the course. We should be using our torpedoes because that's the majority of our damage, and we're not shooting them. It's important to shoot those. But we've got an MTU here. I'll tell the people in the fleet that there's actually an MTU here, because it could be good for them to know. Okay, great. Oh, it seems like the NPCs now have spawned on the opposite end of this gas haven, so they're not actually... So it's not really so favourable for us to warp into this direction, because now... or not warp, but like warp into this chemical factory that was very deep inside the site, because now they've spawned in the other direction. Not so good. Yeah, I don't think this torpedo rattlesnake is at all good for this site we're doing right here. For the haven it would be nice, but not for this one. If I had like an alignment bookmark that was further up, then that would be good, because then I could just keep aligning there and it'll be alright. Well, I find it hard to make custom bookmarks all over the place. Like, our torpedoes are not even able to hit now. Ah, that's annoying. Let's just recall the drones, because this doesn't seem to be worth our time here. Sorry guys, we're going to have to align and go back to the Brave Keepstar. It seems like it's working in terms of our capabilities, just aligning to system by using the Higgs anchor and staying in a relatively close area, because we warped in on this chemical factory. But my main issue was that eventually in the rock haven previously when I tested this, I would then collide into the rocks, even if I'm going really slowly with the Higgs anchor. So this would eventually happen. I was thinking maybe warping in at 10 kilometers could mitigate it, but it's hard for us to see here. In the gas haven, we learned something also, that the NPCs, they spawn all over the place, so it's a bit difficult for this kind of style of close range combat to be as viable. But I think we're going to have to take a break here with the Rattlesnake, but it is possible to just keep a line. It doesn't seem to be anything really strange with doing this. Just the main thing we have to remember is when doing this Higgs anchor torpedo style Rattlesnake, you have to have like a gas haven, or not the gas haven, the rock haven, because if you've got the Higgs anchor, you're stuck in place really. So if you did not have the Higgs anchor, for example, we could have a lot easier got close to those people up there, you know. But then it would be also harder for us to remain aligned all the time. So I think safety-wise, the Torpedo Rattlesnake is not the best. But I'm sure that there's some tips and tricks we could do about that. To be honest, I think what I would feel most comfortable with is just going with the cruise missile fit. I think that's really nice. The cruise missiles, to me, feel a lot safer. You know, I actually did have previously, when I was using a Kronos, when I was warping, when I was ratting in Haven previously, I didn't show this on film, but I did actually have some neutrals enter the system, and I was able to debastion and warp out. So keeping out range did help me survive. It did save a bit of time. The DPS gains, though, are very high when you are going with a brawler style. So there's benefits, there's downsides, there's benefits, there's downsides, there's benefits. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that that wasn't too much action, but we got to at least test the Torpedo Rattlesnake 2.1k DPS with the Higgs anchor. If you did enjoy the video or learn something new, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.